So I thought this would be a really good time to get a podcast done about what to do if you're stuck at home, for example, because of this coronavirus that's going around, but also just in general, like a lot of the time, people are very hesitant to do things that they're not used to doing, or they're so used to like thrashing themselves around and being so busy they don't take time to themselves. And just yesterday, and I'm only saying this now because she just sent me a heart rate graph, but yesterday, after getting hurt, like forcing someone who hates wearing a watch when they sleep, but I forced her to because it was needed for like many different things, but she finally agreed to wear a heart rate monitor while she was sleeping, and she was sending me her graphs over the days, and they were a mess. Her sleep was a mess, her day was a mess. I'm like, you know what? Don't message me again until you actually do the yoga I prescribed you, because she admitted that she was never doing it. And she messaged me like an hour later saying that she didn't want to get off the floor. And I'm like, why? She's like, because I just want to cry. I've never had a chance to just think to myself. I've never had a chance to just be quiet and settle and have time to myself. I'm like, how do you feel? She's like, I'm emotional. It feels good, and I'm just so relaxed, and I don't want to get up. And it was just amazing to be able to show her why I prescribe sometimes the silliest of things. And then she sent me a heart rate graph for that night, and it already looked so much better. I'm like, how did you sleep last night? Because I noticed in her sleep, it still started off really shit, but halfway through her sleep, the metrics improved. And she's like, I've never slept better. Like, it took the dogs to wake her up. She's never had such a good sleep before. And I'm like, do you see why I tell you to do things? Because that's exactly what I wanted. And now you're going to have a much more productive day. And if you keep this up, imagine how much better and how much more positive you're going to be, how much more stress resilient you're going to be, because not only is your sleep better in terms of quantity, but the quality is so much better. And so is her mindset and mood now upon waking. She's not waking up frazzled. She feels calm. So sometimes things that you don't want to do are what you need to do. And sometimes what you need, because what you want, like sometimes what you want to do and what you think you need to do isn't actually what you need. It's crazy, right? Sometimes we think we know what's best for ourselves. I'm the same. I'm guilty of it too. And it's just made me that much more open-minded to doing things. Yeah, it can be really hard to get started into it, but once you start to really focus on how good it makes you feel, it suddenly becomes that much easier. Anyway, that's my little ramble. I call that general preparatory phase. So if you're stuck at home, things like yoga, Pilates, things like working on mobility, stability, taking more leisure walks, getting your aerobic system up, buy a cheap spin bike, get some conditioning in, body weight work, circuits, stuff like that. It's keeping you moving and it's keeping you in routine. Because if there's one thing that a human needs, it's routine, it's stability. Stability in your day-to-day. And the best way to keep it is by keeping that promise to yourself that non-negotiable, to move your body every day, to get blood flowing. Like, after having the most minimal training and prepping for my comp and then having my comp cancelled, I was like a mess. And after getting back into my first session ever, I feel alive again. So, food for thought.